6, 6. Oh, I want red. I think you guys see it better when I do red. Does it matter? It's whatever. Full screen. Here we go. All right, so today, rational exponents. The idea of today is pretty easy. It's just kind of like changing it from one form to another. It's not really a whole lot of thought involved. So it's a little bit easier than yesterday in my opinion, okay? So with this, if I have b to the 1 over n, it's a rule that I'd rewrite it as the nth root of b to the 1, basically. Nobody writes the 1, though, because like b to the 1 is just b. But that's how you do it. So for example, if you have 16 to the 1/4, that's the 4th root of 16, which if I cared, if I asked you, it would be 2. You're just rewriting it, okay? So write each expression in radical form or write each radical in exponential form. So yours was kind of hard to read, so I did this. We'll see if that's better. So number 16, do you think that's in radical form or do you think that's in exponential form? It's in exponential form because there's an exponent, right? So what goes right here? The 3, and then 8 technically to the 1. You can write the 1 if you want to. I want to say it's actually kind of wrong if you write the 1, because what is 8 to the 1? 8. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like you're not done. So really, this is just the cubed root of 8. Now, if I asked you to evaluate or to solve that, you would tell me it was 2. But all they asked you to do is just rewrite the thing so you don't have to go any farther than that. Is that okay? Okay. This one, what goes right here? The 5, and then it would be x to the 2nd. Is that okay? Anybody confused? Okay, great. You're good so far. Okay, good. What was I going to say? I think it gets a little harder, but not that bad. So how do I rewrite this one? Is this in radical form or exponential form? Radical form right now. And so I would write it as 63 to the 1/4. Why don't you guys try number 22?
Oh, shoot.
It's the same thing.
It's not like the way it looks.
Oh, okay. So I would write 5 to the 5 to the 1/3, because it's just to the 1. X to the 1/3. Y to the 2/3. Some people wrote it this way. It's not tricking you. Either answer is the same. Okay, can we keep going? Okay. No?
Hang on, it's a few seconds to write.
Okay.
You're going to realize Hallie has a broken arm.
It's not a broken arm.
Basically, she's got it in a sling.
Suck it up. Let's go. Okay, evaluate each expression. So how could I rewrite this? Because I don't know what 27 to the 1/3 is. So if you've forgotten the word, this is called the index, okay? So the index is 3, so the cubed root of 27. Well, I know what the cubed root of 27 is by now. It's 3. You should know what the cubed root of 27 is by now. It is 3. However, do you have to do all that fancy stuff I just did, or could you just plug that into your calculator? So get your calculator out.
You can?
Sure. So put 27 to the 1/3 power in, and you get 3. Now, the reason I'm showing you the, bless you, the reason I'm showing you the fancy way is eventually that's not a choice. There's going to be variables, and you don't have a choice. You're going to have to know the fancy way. So I'm going to show you both, but if it's a test or a quiz, and I ask you what that is, and I say evaluate, find the answer, you can just plug it in. It's okay. All right? So this is really, what's my index? 4, 4th root of 256, which is 4. Go ahead and use your calculator from the beginning. You might as well, right? and see what 256 to the 1/4 is. Yeah, Sam? Okay. When you plug in the 27 to the 1/3 power, did you put in 1 fraction bar 3? Or did you do 1 divided by 3? For your, bring yours over, let me see it. Yeah, it might require that, I'm not quite sure. So I think what yours wants is 27. Yeah, the caret is right. You want that. That's fine. To that, I think it wants this. Where's your fraction button? Oopsies. I think it wants. Okay. Because if not, it thought you meant 27 to the 1 and then something else with the 3. Okay. Now, if it was like Sam to the 1/4, you could just put 0.25 and save yourself the time. But okay, here we go. 27. So, what? You're all wrong. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the math way first. So I'm going to do 1 over 81 to the 1/4. Remember, you can't work with a negative exponent. We don't know how. If you go back in time, when I gave you this, you would have said, oh, it's that, right? Yes, okay. So that would be 1 over the 4th root of 81, which you probably don't know that, but it's going to be 1 over 3. So let's plug it into our calculator, because you still have to know how to do that. I heard 3.
I said 3.
But it's not 3. It's 1/3. Would you rather have $3 or a third of $1? So they're not the same. So plug that in. Plug in exactly what you see. And you should get 1/3.
Well, I get 3. I didn't plug in the 1. That's about it.
81 to the negative 1/4
Oh.
gives you 1. Yeah, plug in the question. Plug in what you see. Yeah. It's okay. 1/3. So do second f to d, and it'll change it to a fraction for you. Second f to d. Yeah.
Oh, I kept hitting that A, B over C.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. That's pretty small, isn't it? Oh, well. I'm on 31. Simplify. When you have two things being multiplied with the same base, what do you do to the exponents? Add them. So we're going to do 4/9 plus 1/4. You never have to show me that, by the way. I'm just having you write it down on your notes, because when you get to the final exam and you come back to this section, you're not going to know where we got the answer. So 4/9 plus 1/4, yes, you should be able to do it without a calculator, but that's not the point today. So get out your calculator and take 4/9 plus 1/4. And you get 25 over 36. So it's a to the 25 over 36. Fine? Okay. All right. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do next. So this now has a variable. Your calculator is not helpful. Okay? So you cannot work with negative exponents. So I'm going to make it a positive exponent by moving it to the denominator. It's 1 over b to the 3 over 4. Okay? Why is that a problem? Why is that an issue? Why can't I leave it that way? So people keep saying you can't have a fraction inside of a fraction. That's only true if I meant like this. That's a fraction inside of a fraction. You can have a fraction exponent inside of a fraction. That's actually okay. So why else is it not okay? Yeah, so if we were to rewrite this, isn't it the same as that? What's the problem with that? There's a root in the denominator. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not okay. So I should be able just to be like, okay, finish that, good luck, right? Because we've already covered it. However, I'm going to show you a different option. I prefer to use fractions instead. I know most of you don't like fractions, but I think what I'm going to show you is a little bit easier than what we did yesterday. You can still do what we did yesterday if you want to, but at least give this one a shot, okay? I want b to the 4 over 4, because what's that? Just b. So didn't my fraction exponent or my root in the denominator disappear if I do that? So if I want 4 over 4, and I have 3 over 4, I multiply by 1 over 4. Okay? What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So I get b to the 1 over 4 over b. Pardon? So they don't look like 6s. You don't have to. Okay? Oh, figure out why I capitalized the b's? You can ask me that.
So many times during the video when the sub was here, I was like, why are the B's capitalized?
Oh,
Well, like oliga, and I'm
still
like
the same
capital B,
thing.
so it's like a mixture of B and capital.
Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Call it a smiley face if you want. It means the same thing. Okay? So I like this version better personally, but if you are accidentally going to try to cancel those b's out, then maybe don't do that. Because I can't do that. That's really the 4th root of b over b. You wouldn't try to cancel those b's, right? Either answer is acceptable, but if you know that if you leave it that way, you're going to forget and you're going to try to cancel the b's, then maybe don't. Okay? Those are the same answer. I would accept either one. All right? Let's do another one. Exact same idea. I cannot work with negative exponents. So 1 over y to the 4/5. I'm going to work with fractions today. If you hate that on your homework, you could do the old way. It's fine. So I want y to the what? What's my goal? 5 over 5, because that's really just y to the 1, which is my goal, right? So what do I need to multiply by? Y to the 1/5, top and bottom. So I end up with y to the 1/5 over y, or 5th root of y over y. It's the same answer. It's y to the 1/5 over y if you can't read it. Is that easier? Raise your hand if you like the fraction option better than yesterday. Okay, great. If you like it, do it. If you don't, don't. Anybody still need it? Okay. Simplify each expression. So we're on the back. We're skipping that top one for now. We'll do that one tomorrow. Whenever you have a power to a power, what do? Multiply. You do not need a calculator to multiply those together. What did 2 negatives make? Positive. What's negative 3? Well, we already did that. What's 3 times 1? 3. 5 times 4. Does 3 over 20 reduce? Okay. You good? Okay. You try that one. W to the negative 7 over 8. It's the same thing we did on the front. I want to see if you can do it. Should get, when you're ready, w to the 1 over 8 over w, or the 8th root of w over w. If you don't, make me do it for you. If you got that right while you're waiting on people, do 61 next. 61 is an Algebra 1 problem. Do 61 next. Does anyone need me to work 51 out for you? Are you sure? Okay. Oh, okay, sorry. Do you want the fraction way or the root way? The one from today? So we need to start like this. I'm going to multiply by something so I get 8 over 8, which is 1. Are you good with that? So if I want 8 over 8 and I have 7 over 8, when I multiply I add exponents, so I need 1 more over 8 to make that happen. And what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And I just filled it in on all the numerators because I didn't need it anymore. So w to the 1 over 8 over w. There's nothing else you can do. Is that okay? Okay. What's wrong with that one? Has a root in the denominator. Lucky for us, it's a square root. Those are easy. What do you multiply by? Itself, right? So AB square root of C, square root of something times itself is going to be what it was without the square root sign. Square root of C squared is just C. That's it. Anybody confused? Okay. All right, and then this is the last one today. So, go ahead and figure out what we need to multiply by. What do we multiply by on the numerator and denominator? Z to the 1/2, right? Because that gives me Z to the 2 over 2, which is just Z. Do you guys get that so far? Okay. So then you can use your calculator, take 4/5 plus 1/2, or you can make common denominators. They're both out of 10, either way. So you should get 13 over 10. Same thing. 4/5 plus 1/2 is 13 over 10. Do it again. Okay? If you got here and you understand it, you understand the concept. However, we have to simplify it. Okay? Isn't that the same as 10 over 10 and 3 over 10? Isn't this 13 over 10? Is that okay? What's 10 over 10 really? 1. So the z's cancel. And we're left with just the z to the 3 over 10. If you got here, you understand the concept. Okay? From there, if you can simplify, you want to. That's 10 over 10 and 3 over 10, which is really a 1. The z's canceled, so we're left with z to the 3 over 10. And then we will do 37 tomorrow, which means on your homework tonight, you need to skip 36, because you won't know how to do that. Does anybody need help or have a question somewhere? Yeah. Sure. Anybody else? A mathematical question I could help you with? Okay.